back again after a 2 week hiatus, and I can see you're rocking your formerly Washington Redskins jersey.
No Commanders here.
No Commanders here.
When I bought this jersey, I specifically wanted Redskins. It's Sean Taylor. He never played for the Commanders, so I felt like it was unjust.
Well, whenever I think about like that whole like fiasco, I understand that certain words are offensive, but I mean that's the name of a franchise, and they have won Super Bowls in the past as the Redskins, not the Commanders. So like it just blows my mind that when you look up the history, like you don't think Washington Commanders won the Super Bowl back in like the
No.
70s. It was the Washington Redskins. So I don't know. I think that whole thing is just insane. And I know you and I have talked about this before, but I remember seeing like a few different petitions about them trying to bring the name back. And why not? I mean, I'm sure people can argue for it, but I don't know.
I've heard the actual like group themselves, like the indigenous people or whatever they go by.
Yep.
Not trying to be rude, but they want the name back.
Yeah.
They came out and said that they want the name back. So who knows? Maybe 2 years down the road, we got the Redskins back.
Well, anything beats the Commanders or the football team. Let's be honest. That was that was just a brutal thing. And who would have guessed that? And I'll dive into the games in just a second. But who would have guessed that all Washington had to do was get rid of Dan Snyder, and then now look at how successful they are now. Like it's crazy.
Look at one small change.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like people were calling for his head for so many years. And my first instinct was, this guy's rich. He'll never give up this organization. And then I think they sold it like 2 years ago. Yes, they didn't play that great last year, but now they're in first place. I never would have guessed that.
No.
So before we get into our picks and stuff like that, I know we talked about this in person, but I just want to get your opinion. I remember when we did our video last, like 2 weeks ago, you said you would love for nothing more than if Jameis could show up and get a win over the Ravens, and somehow they did it. I know obviously last week was a different story, but like you must have been like so psyched about that game.
Well, you see, here's the issue: is I was working, so I didn't see the game. But you know, whenever I had a break or whatever, checked the score, and I was like, oh, boy, we're up. And then it was like 2 hours or something that went by, and I didn't check my phone at all.
Yeah.
And I got off work, I looked at my phone, and the first thing I saw was that they were leading, and it was like 2 minutes left in the game. And I was like, oh my God, it's there. We're going to do it. And you know, Jameis pulled through. Last week was pitiful, but you know, we're on to Sunday. That's a lie. It's a bye week. Next Sunday.
There you go. At least you'll have that weekend off, right? So
yeah, exactly.
But the one thing I'll take away from that game was just watching Lamar's reaction at the end, because he was just so upset. He just ripped off his helmet, threw it on the ground, and my first thought was, finally, someone get under the skin of Lamar. And then the guy is like, you know what? Cleveland embarrassed me. Now I'm going to take it out on the Broncos, and he just dismantled us last weekend. What the hell, man? And like the thing that I find so funny is like everybody watches tape. Now I shouldn't say tape because that's VHS. Everybody watches video of other teams playing. So what I want to know is when you're in like in the watching the video and you see what they're good at, what they're bad at, and you don't do anything to address that, like it just blows my mind about how like we supposedly have like a really good defense. And then aside from this game, the most points I think we allowed was week 1 against the Seahawks, which might have been like 23 or 26 points.
Yeah.
So other than that, we've been below 20 points or averaging below 20 points for the opponents to score on us. And then Lamar's like, you know what? Hold my beer. I got this. And he ends up throwing for a bunch. Henry runs in for a touchdown. So it just blew my mind. I'm like, the one weekend I have off to watch football, and my team gets absolutely destroyed.
Hey, I hate to say it, but that is a typical, I just lost to a divisional opponent in a game I shouldn't have. I'm going to go show out this next game. That's just what happens. Okay, when you're an MVP like Lamar, like imagine Mahomes, right? Imagine Mahomes goes out and he loses to the Panthers.
Yeah.
You know that next week he's doing some funky stuff. It don't matter who he's playing. It's the same thing with Lamar.
Yeah.
You lose to a team you're not supposed to, you're going to go out next week and put on a show.
Yeah. And, man, I know that the Chiefs are obviously the favorites in the AFC, but there's something different about this Baltimore team this year, and obviously adding a beast like Derrick Henry, and now he's healthy and playing a fantastic season. They could legitimately be Super Bowl contenders again. I mean, they made it to the AFC Championship game last year. So
yeah, I mean, they only added more pieces. They're getting better. So
the thing I think
I hate to say it, but
go ahead.
Sorry, I hate to say it. They might be the Super Bowl favorites.
I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that at all. And whether they play at home or they play, like, say, in Kansas City, because let's be honest, those are probably the top two teams in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you have Buffalo; they're in the mix as well. But hypothetically, those two end up playing in a championship game again. I don't think it's going to matter if it's in Kansas City or in Baltimore. I think there's just, like you said, there's something different about this team this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so they can beat you in every way. They're like, I mean, like is a bad term, but I take them the same way as the Lions. They can beat you in every single way. They can throw, they can run, their defense is going to hit you hard, they're going to cause turnovers, they can beat you in every way possible. So
they are a very dangerous team, to say the least. Now, even though we didn't have a chance to do our predictions last week, did you actually have a chance to write down who you thought would win and stuff like that? Or
Yeah. I got I don't know how many losses again, but I got 10 right.
Fantastic. So you probably would have finished, because I had 11. I was 11-4. So if you had 10 wins, maybe 10-5. So still very, very close.
Yeah.
I think there was 15 games last week, because as you mentioned, sorry, who was it? It was off last week. It was Pittsburgh and San Fran. They had their bye week in week number 9. But still, it's better to be above 500 than to be below. So heading into week number 10, we have 4 teams that have their bye week. As you mentioned previously, we have the Browns. They have their bye week, which I guarantee they need. And I'll be the first to say this. Just sit Watson down the rest of the year. Like, what do you have to gain by him coming back in the games, honestly?
Watson?
Yeah, like why start him? Like, every game he started, his rating has been so poorly.
He's cooked. His Achilles is gone.
Oh, he's gone for the season, is he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. I remember he was hurt, but I didn't know if he was gone for the year. Sorry.
Oh yeah, his Achilles is nuked. That thing gone.
Okay.
Jameis is the guy for the rest of the year. And I read a report today, straight out of the Browns office. Deshaun might not put on the uniform again.
Really?
That's what I'm reading, is he might not play for the Browns again.
But how much of a penalty would that be if they tried to buy him out or trade him, because they have to pay him, right?
I'd have to look at that, but frankly, at this point,
it'd be worth it.
Just go. We'll draft somebody else. We're going to be in the top 10 this year. Just take a quarterback, please. Develop him. I think it's, at this point, you just got to chalk it up to a generational loss, and that's it.
Which is a shame, because, I mean, last year they had obviously a really good year and made it to the playoffs, and such high expectations for this year, and unfortunately they fell short. The Packers, they also have their bye week. They're 6-3. Vegas is in a similar situation as the Browns. They're 2-7. I don't think I would have guessed Vegas would be playing as poorly as they are. But hey, I'm not going to complain. If there's a team below the Broncos in the standings, I'll take that any day of the week.
Exactly.
And then the Seahawks are 4-5. One thing I'll say before we get into our talks about this week is there's a lot of close divisions and a lot of very competitive teams, more or less in the NFC than the AFC. I'll get into that in just a second. But for the NFC West, like, all these teams are separated just by one game.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's tight.
And then the NFC North, You got the Lions with 7. You got the Packers with 6. You got the Minnesota Vikings with 6 wins. The Bears are 4th, so I think they're kind of like down a little bit further. But still, 3 teams are only separated again by 1 game. So it's anybody's division. I understand there's still 9 more weeks of the season, but it's crazy how close those 2 divisions specifically are.
I will say it now. All 4 teams from that NFC North will make the playoffs.
You see the Bears making it over the likes of like the Seahawks or
all 4 of those teams. So it's probably going to be Lions as the 1 or 2 seed.
Yep.
And then it's going to be the other 3 as the wild card spots.
Wow. That is a bold prediction. We'll
the Bears are
right
the Bears are
November.
I have complete faith. I don't know. That might be real bold because I don't love what I'm seeing out of Jordan Love right now, but
right.
I'm hopeful. Anyway,
the thing with the Packers is they have Malik Willis as their backup, and in the 2 starts that he played very well. He led them to 2 straight victories.
Yeah.
So God forbid something should happen to Love, or if he has an off game, at least they're guaranteed to have another quarterback that can step in and not just step in and like hand the ball off. Like the guy can throw. So
yeah,
at least they have a plan B if plan A doesn't go as they want, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have the little backup plan.
So let's dive into Thursday. So I said we had 4 teams that had their bye week, so I'm guessing there must be. Oh, I did the math here, but I forgot to write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games for this upcoming weekend. Starting with the division that I'm sure you would love if they could just both tie, as the Ravens, who we just previously talked about, are playing host to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 4-5. The Ravens are 6-3. What are your thoughts?
This is going to be a good game, folks. Well, we're talking buckle the seatbelt. All right. Both of these teams are hot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm putting all my eggs in one basket.
Okay.
Joe Shiesty is taking this game. It's Bengals?
Yeah, Bengals, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're winning it. Yeah. It's going to be tight, but I think it's going to come down to not even a 2-minute drive. Like, there's going to be like a minute on the clock, and they'll get into field goal range and just squeak it out. It's going to be a game they shouldn't win, but they will, you know?
Yep.
I'm going to say 27-24 to start the week.
27-24 for the Bengals. I honestly have a lot more faith in the Bengals now than I did previously, but I still think that Lamar and company pull this one out. I don't want to start off disagreeing, but I mean, this is what makes it so fun. So I think that the Ravens take this one. I think it's going to be a close game, just as you predicted. I'm going to say, oh boy, I'll go a little bit higher, but I still think it'll be close. I'll say 30-28. I don't know, that it's a very unusual score, but I think
I
think it's going to come down to like a last-second field goal. Maybe the Bengals are up 28-27. Lamar drives the field, whether he runs it or throws it, and then Justin Tucker, the guy could kick a 100-yard field goal if he really tries. So I got a lot of faith in him. No disrespect to McPherson, he's a very good kicker as well, but I just have a hunch that the Ravens might pull this one out. Now, you can correct me on this next one because I don't know the location, but the Panthers are playing an early game against the Giants, so I'm guessing that must be overseas.
It's in Germany.
Germany, okay, that's what I thought.
Munich? However you say it. I apologize.
It's in Germany, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So 2 teams that I don't even think want to even be over there. I don't think the fan bases even want those teams over there, to be honest with you, man. If I had the option to go see the Giants and Panthers play or stay at home, I'm staying at home all day. I don't care if they're coming in from another country to play where I'm at. That game just does not appeal to me at all.
Yeah, I ain't forking. I ain't paying to go. Like, you couldn't pay me to go. All right. I ain't doing it. I don't know how to describe it. It's like watching like the Little League World Series, but when you're a kid, because you want to be there playing, but you're like, man, I could do so much better than these guys. Right? Like it's just comical. You can't can't make this stuff up. Just both teams are just awful.
I guarantee that had they planned this out, had they known about the schedule or how the teams would be playing by week 10, I guarantee they would have easily taken 2 other teams to go over to Germany.
Oh, 100%. Let me get the Panthers and let's go Daniel Jones. Like, what are we doing?
I've said my rant about Daniel Jones so many times, man. Like, I'm done talking about him. But, I mean, if you want to go rant, this is your time. Go ahead.
Enough has been said. He must go.
Yeah, no kidding. What do you think? If there's even a score in this game, which I doubt it, but if you had to make a prediction for a crazy score or any score at all, what do you think?
You know, the thing is with these international games is they don't seem to have the field quite down.
No.
Typically, you see a lot of players slipping. I mean, at least with the London games. Who knows? I don't think, to my knowledge, there's been a Germany game. Don't quote me on that. But, you know, in history, not good. I'm going to say 13-10 for the Giants.
Wow. You know what's funny?
That's a barn burner.
Yeah, no kidding. You know what's funny is I actually said 13-9 for my prediction. As I was writing that down, I was like, wow, that's close. But I'm going to say Carolina pulls this one out. I don't know. I have no faith in either team. I really don't. But I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Like, both these offenses suck. The defenses are subpar. Again, this is even if I had the morning off, I still wouldn't even watch it. I'd put on a cartoon over watching this game. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this game has no appeal to me at all.
You know, there is only one group of people that this game appeals to, and that's the sports bettors.
There you go.
That is the only people waking up to watch that game. I will be sleeping in till 10:55, right before the game starts. Wake up, make sure the fantasy lineup's set, make sure nobody's hurt, and I'm cruising for the next 8 hours.
There you go. So yeah, the early game has the Panthers and Giants, and so you take the Giants, I'll take the Panthers. Now back to North America, well, I guess the states to be specific. The Bears, who you just talked about at the start, are playing host to the Patriots. The Bears are 4-4. The Patriots are 2-7.
All signs point to this being just an absolute massacre.
Yep.
And I really hope it is, because, well, you know, I like Drake May. I'm not going to say that, actually. I hope he plays well.
Yep.
But the Patriots are still a joke of a franchise right now.
Yeah.
Get some help, please. Yeah. Anywhere. They've got a couple good players. I really like Christian Gonzalez, their second-year corner. Absolutely locked down.
Yep.
But I like what I'm seeing out of the Bears. They're going to keep their momentum. It's just going to start tumbling. So that's what I'm going to say on that. I'm going to go Bears big in this one. We're going 34-20.
34-20. Sounds good. I got the Bears as well. I'm going to say 27-14. I think they get at least 2 touchdowns for the Patriots, but I don't think they're getting more than that against the Bears. So again, there's no way that Gerard Mayo can lead this Patriots offense to a victory. It doesn't matter where they play, whether they play at home or play away. They're just that bad. The next one has, I say Oilers win the cup.
Yeah.
Different sport, but yeah, I think that is possible. The next one has, what is this one now? Man, I can't start to see in the dark. Where are we here? The Colts playing host to the Buffalo Bills. Indy is 4-5, and the Bills are 7-2. I wonder who's winning this game.
Give me Buffalo.
There you go.
By a wide margin, too. I don't know what the Colts are doing. You gotta give more opportunity to Richardson. 6 games is not a good enough sample size. All right? The guy's been hurt. And when he has played, he's been up and down, but still, you gotta give him time to play. He's gotta learn.
Yep.
Instead, they're going with Broadway Joe, it seems.
Yep, Joe Flacco.
I don't understand it. I really don't. I mean, I guess try to get him to learn from sitting on the bench for a couple weeks, but from what I've heard, they're planning to stick with Flacco. So the Bills are winning this game 27-10. Another lowered even 27-7.
27-7 in favor of the Bills. Buffalo can't handle McDavid. Oilers would beat the Buffalo Bills. I'm sure they probably could. I wouldn't be surprised about that. I mean, I don't know how many of the Bills players can skate. Sorry, what was the score you said?
27-7.
27-7. Sounds good. I got the Bills all day. There's no way Indy shows up. Doesn't matter if you have Broadway Joe. Doesn't matter if you have Quentin Richardson. They could have Andrew Luck come out of retirement, and it still wouldn't help the cause. So I'd say the Bills got this one 35-13. I think this is going to be a blowout. Yeah, I think Josh Allen's on fire. He's got a big chip on his shoulder, man. This guy's trying to prove that he's not just a good regular season quarterback. He doesn't want to be known as like the next Peyton Manning, having a great regular season and just trash in the postseason. So I think he's has a bit of a redemption, to say the least, to get this team back on track. The Jacksonville Jaguars are playing host, to the Minnesota Vikings. So the Jaguars are 2-7. The Minnesota Vikings are 6-2. You think the Jags got this one?
Another barn burner. This might be the biggest week of blowouts I've ever seen.
Did you guys vote Trump? No, I didn't vote Trump. I'm not an American. Sorry, what was that?
We're both in Canada. But, it is what it is. Man, now I lost my train of thought. Oh, which game are we talking about?
Vikings.
Vikings. Yeah. This, I mean, biggest blowout week we've ever seen. It's going to be rough.
Yep.
I'm going, this might be the highest scoring game of the week. I'm going to say, let's go, 42-31.
42-31. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be a bit
shootout.
Yeah, no kidding, right? I'm going to take the Vikings in this one. I say it's 27-23. I think it'll be a close game, only because the Jaguars, last week, they were close against the Eagles. They've had close games. They just have not been able to get like that final punch to get the win. So I don't think it's going to be one side blowing over the other. I think they'll make it interesting, but this was a very poor season overall for the Jaguars. And I think we talked about this before. 104-7. I wouldn't be surprised. It could be 104-7. I wouldn't be surprised about that. But yeah, there's no way that Doug Peterson's keeping his job. If he doesn't get fired during the season, he's gone after the season. There's no way that he stays staying around in Jacksonville.
Once again, he must go. He must go.
Exactly. Get him out because they need someone. They need some help. He's not the answer. Oh man, I don't want to talk about this game, but I have no choice. Chiefs playing a host against the Broncos. Chiefs still undefeated, 8-0, I believe, or 7-0. Jaguars are aggressive, slowly back away, and don't run. There you go. Taking on the Broncos, who obviously we talked about just lost horrendously to the Ravens.
You take the floor on this one.
I'll take
you always
the floor
let me
on
talk
one.
about the Browns. You talk about the Broncos.
The Broncos, okay. The Chiefs got this one in the bag. It kills me to say that because I would love for Bo to go into KC and show the world that he can take on the elite of the elite. But he had a chance last week, and he came up extremely short. They only got, I think, 10 points, 17 points. It was a horrendous game, to say the least. They didn't have a chance at all against the Ravens. And if they can't beat Lamar in Baltimore, they have very little to no chance in Kansas City. I think I talked about this 2 weeks ago when I said after they beat the Panthers that they could easily be 5-5 by week 11, and they're 5-4 right now. So if Russell Wilson couldn't win in Kansas City, I have very little faith that Bo will as well. So down in the toilet, see it. So yeah, I got the KC all day. And I don't even think this is going to be close. Even though division matchup should be close, there's something about the Browns, or sorry, not the Browns. Oh my God, there's something about the Chiefs that I just can't take away from them. So I think they get like 34, and the Broncos be lucky if they get 17. I think this is going to be more than a one-score game.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to agree with you because I want the best for your team,
Yep.
but I think there's going to be a lot of mistakes in this game. The atmosphere for Bo is going to be a lot for him, I think. So it is an Arrowhead, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, yeah, atmosphere is going to be big for him, I think. So I'm going to go Broncos 20.
What? Okay, never mind.
Broncos 20, Chiefs. Yeah. Oof. Let's go 37.
37. There we go. No, the only reason I said what is because normally when you make your picks, you say the team who you think's going to win first. That's what threw me off. I was like, what? No, what? You're not taking the Broncos. Yeah. No, I think the Chiefs stay undefeated. Mahomes is a magician, man. He can throw a ball behind his back and it'd still be a touchdown. The Saints 2-7, Atlanta 6-3. I took the lead last time. I'll let you dive into this one.
Hot Atlanta, hey?
Chiefs, I'm offended. Hey. There you go, Redskins. That's even more offensive.
Hey. Who's playing? My bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
Again.
The New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, the Saints. What isn't wrong in New Orleans? All right. What's right? Nothing. I mean, finally cleaned house with the coaches. Try to get something else going.
Yep.
Will they? Probably not. They're, again, one of those teams where you're like, hey, I'm surprised when they win.
Yep.
So I like it. I like Atlanta. They're a little bit banged up right now. I'm pretty sure London is not going to be able to play this week with that hip injury. So a little bit banged up, but they're still going to be able to take care of business here. Probably, it's probably going to be a run-heavy game, I'm thinking. Let's go 17-12.
Wow. I'm going to be a little bold, and I say that the Falcons just cooked the Saints. I think the Saints will be lucky if they get one touchdown. I'm going to say 29-7. I think this is going to be one-sided affair. I think the fans are going to be leaving by halftime because they've probably just had enough. Like, this season's turned to crap, and it's crazy because when you have like Derek Carr, you think you brought this guy in to be successful. Last year, very unsuccessful. Obviously, this year he was injured, but he played last week and he didn't even look like he showed up. So if he ain't showing up last week against the Panthers, if you can't beat the Panthers, you think you're going to beat the Falcons? Give me a break.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had players literally tweeting like, we just lost to the Panthers.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's over.
Yeah. It's done. It is done. They'll get a high draft pick at least, but that's about the only positive that's going to come out of this year. Next we have, I got to leave the light on. There's no point in shutting it off and turning it back on. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, old Baker Mayfield, and the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, Tampa Bay lost in the overtime to the Chiefs. And I didn't watch the game, but I did see the coin flip in the overtime, and you can just see Baker just lift his head up to the ceiling. He's like, oh my God, it's over. And then the Chiefs go down and score. Not surprised at all. And obviously San Fran, they were on their bye week last week. And then there's talks about Christian McCaffrey possibly coming back for week number 10. So this could be a very interesting matchup. I don't want to say it's going to be game of the week because that's probably the next one I'm going to talk about. But what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, well, this was like that matchup a couple weeks ago where I said if Jaden Daniels plays, the Commanders will win.
Yeah.
Same thing this week. If McCaffrey plays, Niners are probably going to win. If he doesn't, well, I'm still going to say that the 49ers are going to pull it out.
Yep.
I'm going to go Niners. I'm going to say McCaffrey plays.
Yep.
And the Niners are going to win it 28-24.
28-24. I like that score. I say San Fran takes this one. Not saying they're the better team, but as you said, if McCaffrey plays, he can be a big X factor for this team. And I think if he plays, he'll get a rushing touchdown at minimum. And I say San Fran takes this, but I think it'll be close. I think it might even be like a 23-21 kind of game. I think it's going to be ridiculously close. And but yeah, no disrespect to the Buccaneers because they are a good team, and they're only a game behind the Falcons, I think, for first or maybe a game and a half, whatever it is. So if the Bucs can pull this one off, then they can still be in the chase for that NFC South. But if they lose this and Atlanta wins, I think they'd have like a 2 or 3 game behind on the Falcons. So this is a critical game for the Bucs more than the 49ers because I said at the start how the NFC West is so close, everything's separated by 1 game. So even if San Fran happens to lose this one, which they shouldn't, it might only be a game, maybe 2 at worst, behind in the standings. So I think they'll be okay if they lose, but I have a little bit of faith they should come away with a win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously I love Baker, but they're just so banged up. You can't. It's hard to bet on them, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like it with the Niners here.
Okay, now this is the game of the week. And at the start of the season, if I had told you Week 10, the Washington Commanders and the Pittsburgh Steelers would be atop of their respective divisions, you'd probably say, Ian, are you on drugs or something? Because there's no way that's possible. But no, I'm not on drugs. And yes, they are both in first place, respectively. So I think this is going to be the game of the week here. I'll just say this little bit here, and then I'll let you go into this. But I think that the Commanders take this one. I think that even though Russ has been cooking the last 2 games with Pittsburgh, I have a lot more faith in the Commanders, whether it's offense, defense, whatever it is. There's just something special about this team, and I'll be bold to say this now. I think they get the NFC East. Yes, they're only a game ahead of the Eagles, but man, overall, this team is just so much better on paper, at least from my perspective, at least. So I say that the Commanders take this one. I think this will be close. I say this goes to overtime. A game-winning field goal. I say 23-20 in favor of the nation's capital.
I like it. I'm also. I'll start off with I'm taking Washington.
Yep.
However, the reason I'm doing it is because of what happened yesterday. They got Marshon Lattimore. Lockdown. The biggest issue that I've seen out of Washington is their cornerback play. You bring in an all-pro guy who's proven that he can do it.
Yep.
While you have 2 young corners right behind him who can learn, get some technique, whatever, from veteran presence. I feel like that's going to be such a big move for them moving forward, even like later on into the season, having a guy like that in the locker room where you were struggling, I think is going to be huge. So how much is he going to play this week? Hard to say, but I mean, I'm going to take the Commanders in this one. Again, same like you, field goal game. I'm not thinking overtime though. I'm thinking just a game winner right at the buzzer.
Yep.
And we're going. What'll it be? 31-28.
31-28. Fantastic. I mean, the Steelers would have nothing to lose because even if they do happen to, they'd still be technically tied for first, depending on how, obviously, Baltimore plays tomorrow night. So even if Pittsburgh happens to lose, it's not the end of the world. I mean, they're still going to be ahead of Cincinnati. So I'm sure that if you told any Steelers fan they'll be ahead of the standings, or they'll be ahead of Cincinnati in the standings halfway through the year, I think they take that all day.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go. The Los Angeles Chargers, 5-3. Now they're in second place. Boo. Taking on the Tennessee Titans, who are 2-6. I went last time. I'll let you go ahead. Tell me you think Will Levi is going to have a breakout game.
I'm really decisive on this one, man. The Titans are pitiful. Have you heard is Levis starting?
I think so.
Let me see. I want to check that.
while you're looking that up, I'll just say that it's crazy how fast. Because they were competitive. They were very, the Titans, I should say, were very competitive 2 or 3 seasons ago. I'll never forget when they knocked the Patriots out of the playoffs in the wild card round, and then they went all the way to the AFC Championship game. Unfortunately, they lost to the Chiefs, and it looked like Ryan Tannehill was the answer, but now he's gone, and it's a tough road to hoe.
Word on the street is Levis is not starting.
Ooh.
He's still battling his shoulder injury, so to speak. That's the word I'm seeing right now.
Okay.
I also really is Rudolph, Mason Rudolph.
Oh, Mason Rudolph, right?
However, I do already like what I'm seeing out of LA. So I don't really know what it is. I just really like Justin Herbert. I just think he's never gotten a fair chance because his receivers are either hurt or just booty cheeks. So,
other than Keenan Allen, who does he really have?
Well, yeah, but him and Mike Williams, but they were always hurt.
But Williams doesn't play there anymore, right?
No, but neither does Keenan.
Oh, he doesn't play there?
Keenan's in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, I missed that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got nobody. His receivers right now are Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Joshua Palmer.
Who and who?
Yeah. Those are deep divers, all right? Unless you watch football every single week and you're looking at it, you don't know those guys. But that being said, I really like the Chargers. They're a fun team for me. I like J.K. Dobbins. I like Herbert. I like Ladd McConkey. It's like a little Hunter Renfrow in there.
And isn't one of the Bosa brothers on there too?
Yeah, Joey.
Nick? Oh, Joey, yeah.
Yeah, Joey's over there.
Right.
But yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers in this one.
Okay.
Probably a decent gap. I'm going to go 27-13.
27-13. Well, if Mason Rudolph's playing, then that just changes everything for me. No, I'm just kidding. It kills me to say this because obviously I want everybody in the AFC West to lose every single week. If the Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders can all go 0-17, I would be a happy camper. I wouldn't even care if we just got one win that year. I just want to see all those teams go below 500. But they're a very good team. I hate to say it, but Justin Herbert is a very good quarterback. He's still in his prime, in his mid-20s. And when you bring in a veteran, and I'll say this, potentially a future Hall of Fame coach in Jim Harbaugh, I got that name correct this time.
There you go.
I mean, he just seems to have, he's like a quarterback guru. I mean, he was so good in San Fran when he had Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. And then obviously he had a lot of success in the college when he went to Michigan. But there's just something about this Chargers team that's different this year compared to the years in the past. Obviously, last year was very unsuccessful, not making the playoffs. And but I think this team could be one of those dark horses that if one division doesn't all get in, the Chargers could be one of those teams that are sleepers that could possibly sneak in because they should get to 6-3 after this matchup.
A sneaky playoff team. I like it.
Yeah, I really do. I think this is going to be at least a 2-score game, so I'll give the Chargers the edge in this one. I'll say probably like 27-13. I think Rudolph throws at least one touchdown for the Titans. Same exact score, exactly. I think it's going to be a 2-score game. I really do.
Yeah.
Okay, next one we got. Where are we? The Arizona Cardinals and the New York Jets. Okay, so I like this kind of going back and forth thing. Oh my God, who would have guessed that week 10 we'd be talking about the first place Arizona Cardinals and the third place New York Jets? Not this guy. I never would have guessed that. I thought the Cardinals would have been at the basement of that division, and I thought that the Jets would have been in second place, competing with the Buffalo Bills. Yes, the Jets got the win last week against a very good team in the Texans, but I think, honestly, it's just too little too late for the Jets. I know I said this 2 weeks ago, or maybe even 3 weeks ago, that I don't think the Jets are making the playoffs. Yes, they brought in Devontae Adams, and obviously he's good buddies with Aaron Rodgers. They had success in Green Bay, but those guys are both getting older. Rodgers, I don't know his age, but he's got to be pushing 40 if he's not 40 already. And I think we talked about this before, that nowadays you need whoever your quarterback is, he needs to be a mobile quarterback. Not saying Rodgers isn't, because there's so many times where he gets blitzed and he's always running to the one side or the other, but I guarantee he's a lot more comfortable in the pocket. So if you rush him and he doesn't feel comfortable, he's either going to throw the ball away get sacked, get intercepted. So I have very, very little faith in the Jets. Now, they could prove me wrong, and they could go on like a 6-game winning streak and sneak into the playoffs. But as of right now, they're not a playoff team to me. So I'm going to give the edge to Kyler Murray, who I never would have guessed would beat Aaron Rodgers. But I have a little bit more faith in the Cardinals. They're playing very good. And, yes, they only have a 1-game lead in the NFC West over the 49ers, Rams, and Seahawks, respectively. But they're a good team. Like, you can't really take them for granted. So I think they could compete for an NFC West title. I think the Cardinals could make the playoffs, and if I had to bet on them or the Jets to make the postseason, I'm taking Arizona all day. I think it'll be. I mean, how long has the Call of Duty game been come out? I saw like a little meme about how ever since the Call of Duty game came out that Arizona's been undefeated. So as long as you put Kyler Murray in front of that Xbox or PlayStation, he will stay undefeated the rest of the year. That's going to be my crazy take for this one. So I say they get this one done, 31-25.
Hey, Kyler Murray is flipping history. All right.
Yeah.
Every year prior to this, when Call of Duty came out, his stats just plummeted. It was just this huge meme. It was like, oh God, oh man, Call of Duty comes out this weekend. Everyone get rid of Kyler Murray on your fantasy team because his stats. All of a sudden, he flipped a switch.
There's something about this specific game.
I have a bad feeling, Ian.
No.
I have a really bad feeling that Aaron Rodgers is about to do what he did in, I believe it was either 2019 or 2020, I think, where he went into a press conference and he said, "We're going to run the table." I got a really bad feeling that he's about to run the table again.
Well, it's safe to say, as you're writing that down, I already put New York Jets under your name, so I got a funny feeling you're going with New York on this one.
Yeah, it's a bad feeling. Something about it. It seems to be clicking, and they're just, I don't know. It's a weird vibe over there. You got Rodgers and his best friends on offense.
Yep.
And then on defense, it's like some of the guys are just like, boom, like Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. I couldn't name many more on that defense.
Oh, no.
So it's like, yes, it's a huge yes and no team, but at the end of the day, if your offense goes out there and scores every drive, you're going to win the football game.
Yeah.
That's my take. I don't want to say that because I really don't like Aaron Rodgers all that much. But we're going to take the Jets in this one.
Okay.
Squeak it out. Let's go 34-31.
34-31. There we go. Will this be the game that the Jets can turn around their season? Dawson says yes. I say Kyler Murray keeps playing Call of Duty and gets another win. Off to the NFC East, where we have the Cowboys, who anytime I hear about the Cowboys, I'm just scratching my head. Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know what positive is coming out of this season. I don't know what moves Jerry Jones keeps on making, but they're trash, man. They're trash. They're taking on the Eagles, who are 6-3, I believe, or sorry, 6-2. I think I went first last time, so I'll let you say your bit before I go on my little rant about America's parent team.
This is just a nightmare. All right. First of all, these are two of my least favorite teams.
Right? Yep.
Not because I don't like Dallas, but number one, I think the Eagles are frauds. I will keep saying that till the day they. I don't care. I'm just going to keep saying it. Eagles are frauds. Except for A.J. Brown. I like A.J. Brown. Oh, God, I hate the Eagles. But Jerry Jones, what is he doing? Jonathan Mingo. Who? For a fourth. Hopkins went for a fifth. Yes, Mingo was a second-round draft pick, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. So, yeah, he's young.
Yeah.
But he's done squat. Squat diddly. Nothing. Zilch. What are you doing?
I just want to put your thoughts on pause for a quick second, because when I made my little prediction earlier today, someone commented, they said that Mingo, the guy that you just talked about, he ran for 1 yard last week. And somehow Jerry Jones sees that as, oh, this guy's a home run, and if we get him.
Yeah, I was reading about it today, and it was like these guys were just talking about, I really hope that this isn't Jerry Jones's attempt to find his wide receiver 2 with CeeDee Lamb, because he's a young guy. This guy's done nothing. What do you see? What can you possibly see? God only knows.
Do you want to put this game as a tie? Would that make things all a little more better?
The Eagles are going to win this game because Cooper Rush is starting at quarterback. Dak's out for what? 4 weeks, 4 to 6, something like that.
He's out for a few weeks, yeah.
So, Eagles are going to win this game as much as I don't want them to. It's going to be rough. I'm going to go 35 to 10.
35 to 10?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, so I'll say my prediction first, then I'll go on my little bit of a rant. I think the Eagles got this one. I'd be surprised if Dallas even gets a touchdown. I think it's going to be 25 to 9. I think Cowboys are lucky if they get 3 field goals the way they've been playing. But man, like you'd think that after my rant that I was a huge Cowboys fan. I'm not. I can't stand the Cowboys. They're not America's team. They haven't won in 30 years. Get that name out of here. Move the team. I don't want to hear about the Cowboys. Fold. I mean, God damn it, I'm sick of this team. But man, like for me, if I was a Cowboys fan, I would be like getting a petition and begging everybody to sign it to get Jerry Jones to finally retire. The guy's 80 years old. He's ancient. He's a dinosaur. And he's still running the team. He still has full control. He has no faith in his family doing his own job. That says a lot, man. Like, that says a lot. You can't trust your own kids to run the organization while you step aside. You're in your golden years. Death is knocking at your door. You do not want to be on or in the bleachers and drop dead because your team sucks and because you refuse to go away from the game you love. You want to go there as a fan? Fine. Go there as a fan. Stay out of the box office. Stay out of the franchise shit. Like, stop it, man. Like, fuck, stop. Damn it. Again, you'd think I was like a diehard Cowboys fan, but I'm sick of this, man. Like, it's so sickening. Why?
Well spoken.
From every Cowboys fan, there we go.
Just awful, man.
Oh my God, man! Like every year, it's Super Bowl, it's Super Bowl, it's Super Bowl. You guys haven't made it to a conference championship since 1995. I was 7 years old when you guys made it to a conference championship. I'm 36 now, man. Almost 30 years later, you're telling me you're a Super Bowl contender? Get that garbage out of here, man. Stop it. God damn it.
I have never seen the Cowboys in a championship game. Not once.
Man. Oh, my God. Sorry, I've been holding that in for a week. That's just been bottling up inside, and I'm sick of it, man. Like, if I was a fan, I would be throwing my jerseys in the garbage. I'd be moving.
God.
I wouldn't even consider watching TV on Sundays ever again after this season and the dismantling. And I'm telling you now, they lose to the Eagles. I know I've said this before with other teams. They lose to the Eagles, they're not making the playoffs. There's no mother effing way they make the playoffs if they go to 3-6.
No way.
Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. Okay, so we got 2 more games, I think. We got the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions. Now, this is a Sunday night game, and it sucks because I got to work Sunday night, but I would love to sit down and watch this game. I think this could be – I know I talked about how the Washington Commanders and the Pittsburgh Steelers could be the game of the week. This could be the other game of the week. Like, if they say the Steelers and Washington doesn't pan out, I think Jared Goff going up against C.J. Stroud, this could be a very good game. And it's such a shame that the Chiefs are as dominant as they are, because I would love to see this be like a Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah, this would be amazing. There's only one way that the Texans win this game, in my mind, and that's if Nico Collins plays. They can't win against these high-caliber teams with Tank Dell as their wide receiver 1. He's a great player, but he's not that alpha 1 that's going to route you up and can convert on a 3rd and 13 when you need him to.
Yep.
Nico Collins or even Diggs is going to be that guy for you. That's the only way I see the Texans winning this game. If he doesn't play, which I'm hearing it's 50-50 right now, so if he doesn't play, they're not going to win. I'm going to say he doesn't play this week. I'm going to take the Lions in good fashion. Let's go 31-24.
31-24 in favor of the Lions. Sounds good. You know what's crazy is initially I did choose Houston, but now I'm definitely want to go on the Detroit side of things. I know I've said this before, how they are Super Bowl contenders. I'm going to be bold. Say it's 32-31. I say what happens is they get a touchdown late in the game. They convert on a 2 point.
I like it.
That's the end of the game right there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That seems to be so common. And honestly, I've been watching football forever. I used to always hate teams going for 2 because it's like, why wouldn't you just kick the field goal and send this to overtime? But then obviously I talked about the whole incident with the Buccaneers and the Chiefs. And it's funny because there's this one guy I've seen on YouTube. He does these reels, and that's exactly what he's like. He's like, when you're going up against the Chiefs and you have a chance to tie it or go for 2, what do you do? And then he was pretending to be other teams. Like, we should tie it. Like, no. Has nobody learned their lesson? Like, if you're going up against a team and you have a chance to win in regulation, do it. Yes, it's a 50-50. If you go for it and you don't make it, people are going to criticize you forever. But if you kick it and lose in overtime, you're still going to get criticized. It's like no matter what you do, you're going to be pissing somebody off. So why not be bold? Going for 2 points nowadays is more common than just kicking a field or an extra point. So I say the Lions for sure got this one in the bag. They should get to 8 wins. And let's be honest, they are the team to beat in the NFC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the Super Bowl or the NFC goes through Detroit. I mean, yes, we still have 8 more games after this to go, but this team is just so – they only have 1 loss. Like, they're basically like the Chiefs of the NFC.
Good. They're so good.
And, man, like, I remember for years and years and years the Lions were trash, and I remember when they were 0-16 and, like, nobody wanted to watch their team. So I couldn't imagine being a fan through, like, decades and decades of suffering just to finally see them rejoice. Like, if I was a Lions fan, I'd be happier than a pig in poop right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, talk trash now, man. We're the best team in the NFC. I dare you. Say something.
Like offense-wise, what's a weakness?
None. They have no weaknesses.
They have a great wide receiver room. They have a great tight end. Their running back room is the best in the league. Goff is amazing. Their line is playing, from what I've seen, really well. I don't watch a ton of O-line film. Sorry about it. But how do you beat them?
The only team that can beat the Lions is the Lions themselves.
Yeah.
I'll say that right now. The only way they can lose is if they shoot themselves in the foot. Maybe they get penalties or whatever it is. But, man, this team is legit. Like, they're not pretenders. They are contenders.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think Detroit wins this one all day. What's that?
I was going to say, before you bring up this last game, I got some.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to be there.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to Houston?
No. On Monday.
Oh, Monday. Okay. Oh, my God. Holy crap. Wow. Okay, so we got on Monday, well, it's funny you just talked about this, the Los Angeles Rams. You're heading to L.A.? Oh, my God. Taking on the Miami Dolphins. Wow. This will be a game. I mean, if you're a Dolphins fan, it's not going to be a game that you want to watch, but if you're a Rams fan, this is a game you definitely want to see. The Rams are 4-4. They finally got back to 500. The Dolphins are just dog crap. They're 2-6. Doesn't matter if Tua is playing or not. There's just something off about this team this year, which is a shame because I picked them as to be a threat in the AFC East, and I don't think they're making the playoffs. Let's be realistic. Even if they get to 3-6, think about how many teams they have to climb over, and they have to rely on other teams to lose just for them to possibly get into a wild card spot because they're not getting the AFC East. The Bills have that locked down. There's no question about that. So as for the Rams, very good team. I think they could be a playoff team, and hell, I'll even take it a step further. Depending on how San Fran and Arizona does this year, the Rams could get this division. It's so crazy how close this division is. Any team, it's up for grabs. It's not like they're 3 games behind the 49ers or 2 games behind the Seahawks or the Cardinals. This is a very, very good team. And I will never bet against Matt Stafford. Yes, he missed the playoffs last year, and he hasn't been the same quarterback since they won the Super Bowl 3 years ago. But I will never doubt Stafford, and I believe you're going to be in for a treat. And now I know I never get my predictions when it comes to the scores right, because I want to hear your piece before I let you go. But I say the Rams get this one easily. I think it's going to be like 28-6.
Ooh. See, I think a little bit differently. I still think the Rams are going to win, but this is just me hopeful as a fan. I just hope it's a shootout because the Rams are finally healthy. So I hope Kupp and Puka just go absolutely wild, and Tyreek goes for like 200 yards or something just stupid. That's my hope. So I'm just gonna stick with that. It's not realistic, but just because I'm going to the game, I'm gonna say that. So Rams by a million. 38-35.
38-35. Man, that'll be insane. I hope they do come away with the victory because I mean I've never been to a game in my life, but I think there'd be nothing more depressing than watching the team you cheer for at home coming away with the L. So as much as I would love to see a shootout, I would just hate for it to come down to like the Dolphins getting the ball. I got no beef with them, but on paper the Rams are the better team, and again I have more faith in Matt Stafford than I do in Tua, and the last name I can never pronounce.
Tua turn the ball over.
There you go. I'll say that name over Tua go over or wherever the hell you ever say his name any day of the week. Oh man, well this has definitely been one of the most intense, I say, picks that we've ever done, especially after my rant about the Cowboys. But man, this is always a blast, and it would be my pleasure if we could do this again next week.
Yeah, or I will be in LA.
Right, you're gonna be in LA. Forgot about that. Well, if we're not able to do this, say next Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it is, then we'll do this again in 2 weeks. But if I don't see you face to face before you take off, enjoy your trip. And if I do, obviously, I'll see you before you go.
Yes, thank you.
Right on, buddy. Thanks a lot for doing this. And as always, this has been fun.
Yes, thank you for having me.
No worries, bud. See you around.
Bye.